Hello, I am Rachel and this is The Target. This video will show you how any new habit is formed into our brain through the habit loop. Consequently, through this knowledge, you can create any new habit or even transform your bad habits into good ones. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly maintain good habits while others struggle to break free from destructive ones? What if I told you that the secret to transforming your life is not found in fleeting mood, but in understanding how your brain works? Every action you repeat, every pattern you follow, they are not random. They are deeply wired into your brain, silently shaping the course of your life. Once you understand how habits are formed at the brain, neurological level, you will unlock the power to break free from old patterns and consciously create new patterns and achieve the goals you designed for your life. But how exactly do habits take root in the brain? And more importantly, how can you reprogram your mind to form new habits? The science behind habit formation. What is a habit? A habit is any action you repeat so often that your brain automatizes it. Neuroscientists describe habits as neurological loops, automatic sequences of behavior that are triggered by specific cues and followed by reward. The brain loves habits because they save energy. Imagine if you had to consciously think about every little action, brushing your teeth, tying your shoes, or driving to work every single day. Your brain would be overwhelmed. That's why it creates shortcuts. The process of habit formation happens deep within a part of the brain called the basal ganglia, one of the oldest and most primitive regions of the brain. This small structure is responsible for storing automatic behaviors, while your conscious mind is free to focus on more complex decisions. The first times you drive a car, you need to plan and think about each next step. The brake, the clutch, the turn signal, all this seems too much for our brain. However, as time passes by, and you do that a zillion times, your brain no longer needs to make much effort, since the dynamic of driving is already automatized in your mind, and consequently, the body responds to it, taking constant automatic decisions. The habit loop. Charles Duhigg, in his book, The Power of Habit, describes the habit loop, a three-step neurological pattern that every habit follows. First of all, we have the cue, which is the trigger. That is the signal that tells your brain to go into automatic mode. Then, we have the routine, which is the action or the behavior itself. Finally, we have the reward, which is the positive feeling or benefit your brain receives after completing the action. Let's break it down with an example. Imagine every time you feel frustrated, you drink some alcohol and this makes you feel relieved. The frustration here is the cue, that trigger that makes you drink alcohol. Then, you show no resistance to the trigger, but you just follow it and drink a glass of alcohol of any kind. This is the routine. After that, you feel relieved and less frustrated, or at least for a moment. If you believe this is only applied to alcohol, you are wrong. Instead of alcohol, think about the time you had a chocolate to make you feel better after a bad situation you faced. This is the habit loop operating. The only difference is that the routine changed. Chocolate instead of alcohol. In our daily life, the habit loop seems unnoticed unless you study about it or even when you are boosted to reflect about it, as you are now. But in practice, who has never opened the cell phone and scrolled it for hours through social media in order to give oneself some entertainment and relief. The point is that the distraction gives you temporary relief from your stress. And now the magic of the habit loop. The more often you repeat this loop, the stronger the connection becomes in your brain. Over time, your brain associates stress automatically with checking your phone, without you even realizing it. This is how habits are built, not by conscious decision, but through repetition and reward. The good news is, once you understand this loop, you can hack it to form new habits. The habit should work for you, not against you. Before learning how to break the bad habits, take 2 seconds and subscribe to our channel. This will help us share this content with more people. And don't forget to explode the like button. How to break bad habits. Now that you know how new habits are created, the question is, how can we break bad habits that were already automatized? Breaking bad habits isn't just about willpower. It is about reprogramming the habit loop in your brain. Neuroscientists have discovered that habits never really disappear. They are simply overwritten by new ones. The secret is not to fight the old habit head-on, but to replace the routine with a new action while keeping the same cue and reward. Here is the formula. First of all, you identify the cue. What's leading you to follow a specific bad habit? Is it frustration, stress, being ignored? This search requires much reflection and self-knowledge. Give yourself some time to think about it. Take notes if necessary, to investigate what happened before you fell into the bad habit. After identifying it, choose a new routine. But remember, this new routine is going to compete with the old one, and it has got to win. Then, it should be something you enjoy pretty much doing in order to be a successful trade. For example, if you feel stressed and your automatic response is to check your phone, you can replace that action with taking 3 deep breaths, or going to a short walk, or talking to a friend, or writing about your feeling. Test new routines to check which one applies better for the challenging situation and gives you the same sense of relief, which is your reward. Don't forget, so bad habits are transformed into good ones, you need to maintain the reward. If checking on the phone brings you relief, so the new habit should bring a similar sense of compensation. In my case, I love running. It brings me the sensation of freedom, happiness, and joy. Then, after facing a very hard day, going for a run will definitely give me the same good sensation, or even better, of checking my phone. Do you also like running, or would you like to initiate this activity? We have a very nice video about how this exercise can provoke changes in your mind and in your body. Click the card and check it out. The more you repeat this new loop, the stronger the new habit becomes, until one day it feels automatic. The neuroscience of consistency. Now that you know how habits work, how can you consciously build the habits that will transform your life? The secret lies in neuroplasticity, the brain's incredible ability to rewire itself. Every time you repeat an action, you strengthen the neural connections associated with that habit. The more often you repeat that action, the thicker and faster these connections become, like carving a path through a dense forest. Eventually, the path becomes so clear that your brain follows it automatically. But here is the catch. Your brain needs consistency to rewire itself. According to studies, it takes around 66 days on average to form a new habit. The key is to repeat the action daily without breaking the chain. Now, why do so many people give up before that? Because we are living the era of fast things. Then we feel frustrated when something takes longer. However, if you want to be different from the majority, it is important that you teach your mind to wait for a bigger reward instead of being satisfied with small drops of poor reward, just like scrolling the phone screen, watching porn, eating sugary food, or any other harmful habits. Start small. Make the action so tiny that it's impossible to fail. Want to start exercising? Start with just 2 minutes of stretching every day. Want to read more? Commit to reading just 1 page. By making the habit ridiculously easy at first, you are tricking your brain into consistency. And consistency is what rewires your brain. Nobody gets to run 21 kilometers at the first time or get totally rid of junk food. It happens little by little. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to form new habits is focusing only on the outcome, not on who they need to become. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, says, "Every action is a vote for the type of person you want to become." If you want to form a habit that lasts, don't just set goals like, "I want to pray and meditate every day." Instead, shift your identity. "I am the kind of person who prays and meditates every day." It is just like the saying, "Fake it until you make it." Many people also make the mistake of prospecting too much. Forget the "when I have money, I will have the best eating habits possible." Change it for "I will dive into the best eating habits now, with the reality I have, with the money I have." When better situations come, your brain will be already prepared to get even better. Your brain is constantly seeking alignment between your actions and your identity. When you see yourself as the type of person who reads, exercises, or wakes up early, your brain starts making those habits automatic. You are the architect of your own mind. The most powerful truth about habits is this: you are not a prisoner of your habits. You are their creator. Every habit you've ever built, good or bad, was created by you, whether consciously or unconsciously. And now that you understand the science behind habit formation, you have the power to consciously design the life you want. Start small. Stay consistent. Focus on becoming the person you want to be, one small action at a time. Your brain will resist at first. It will try to pull you back into old patterns. But if you persist, if you keep showing up every single day, your brain will adapt. One day, without even realizing it, you will wake up living the life you once dreamed of. The power to transform your life is already inside you. All you have to do is to unlock it. If this message inspired you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, you are a doer, and as a doer, you follow your own path to a better life. You can check more videos here in the Target, the channel that leads you to be a better person and hit the target to a better life. Subscribe and click the like button. See you later, doer!